Sup YouTube, it's Decklists TCG here, and welcome back to our TCG video on my channel. Today we're counting down the top 10 best decks in the Prismatic Evolutions format. So if you guys are hyped for it, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. It is super effective. I'm always super grateful, and it only takes one tiny second of your time. Also, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. You're gonna get more content like this, so you can get the best deck lists around. So these are based on Japanese results. They have been playing city leagues. They already have access to cards like Budew, Regigigas, all that good stuff, and you will see that specific decks actually are adapted a little bit to deal with the Budew item lock going on in almost every deck. Almost, not all of them, but there's a lot of decks that can actually utilize that new 30 HP basic Pokemon that can allow you to item lock the opponent on the very first turn, going second for 0 energy. So that's gonna have a little bit of impact in specific decks on how they adapt. So this is going to be the top 10 decks that have been performing well in Japan. And if your opinion is different, let me know down below in the comment section why you put a specific deck on the top 10 list, or which one you would actually exclude. Like decks, for example, like Ancient Box and all that good stuff, Snorlax Block, Pidgeot Control, all the cool decks that people always say like, oh, this needs to be in there. It is currently not listed down, but I could definitely see it working out in the future. But for now, let's count down the top 10 best decks currently, as of course you all will know that the meta always evolves. So this will actually change in a couple of months when people are testing out the format. Number 10, Miraidon EX with the Charizard reduction. Yeah, a lot of people will be leaving Charizard for what it is with the Budew item lock going around. So Charizard either will have to adapt and it's not going to be that good anymore. It's still going to be good, but not as dominant as it once was, means that Miraidon could have a chance to shine here. You, of course, have the Ampu very much, which you can activate as soon as your very first turn, going second, DTE, Generator, and off you go. You can just instantly get 2 prizes on the weak HP Pokemon. You have Magneton to blow yourself up and then go for a big attack with the Raichu V. Raikou can also dish out a huge amount of damage with the help of the Area Zero under that. I'm also still a big fan of playing Prime Catcher in a deck like this, because as soon as you have Arven and you already have your Generator, you can gust out any Pokemon, a lone Pokemon that is on the bench. For example, if you are up against, let's just say, a deck that plays 2 prize Pokemon, like for example, this Prime Catcher could allow you to take the very first 2 prizes. And even with the combination of an Iron Bundle, I could see games ending instantly. Like let's say you're up against Regidrago VSTAR, for example. If you're able to Prime Catch the only Regidrago V, then you could win games instantly. So that's why I'm a big fan of the Prime Catcher. You do see a Minior in here if you're expecting Snorlax, or that's also for people that are testing out the Sup lock, for example. You could be attacking in a Minior to just deal with being trapped in the active position, because the only way you can get out of it is by manually retreating. So stuff like Mawile, Wellspring, Ogerpon, as well as Snorlax Block could instantly lose you the game, but with that inclusion of Minior, that's no longer an issue. And we do see that there's still a Zapdos in there from the Pokemon Go set, allowing you to slap that 10 additional damage output with your Lightning type Pokemon, allowing you to slap 230 with your Miraidon EX, or 130 with your MP very much, but most of the time it actually will be 110 as a max, as you probably will be using DTE to power up the MP very much. But you never know, when you blow up a Magneton, you could actually get that number as well. So yeah, it's still going to be good. Charizard is going to be on a down spiral with popularity, so that means that Miraidon could be a great pick. Number 9 is going to be, Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt is still one of the very powerful aggro-based decks in the format. It actually is utilizing the Teal Mask Ogerpon to get energies into play. That, in combination with Professor Sawdust's Vitality, is definitely going to help you out to get the energies into play and to destroy anything you see in your path with Bellowing Thunder. Lost Vacuum is a must, as of course not only are Dragapult players playing Sparkling Crystal also very good against stuff like Gardevoir EX, to make sure you can even win against that. But it's going to be pretty tricky, as that's one of your most difficult matchups. If you want to improve it even further, you could try to tack in something like a Briar. Also, the Crispin has been thrown in this list as a 5th copy of Professor Sada, because sometimes when you're item locked, it could be difficult to actually get energies into the discard pile. So Crispin could also work out to just get them instantly from the deck while you accelerate. And you also still have the HP buffing Bravery Charm by your side. And because you're going turbo, Tracking Shoes, Earthen Vessel, Nazball, if this deck goes second, you just draw half of your deck. You have gusting capabilities with Prime Catcher or Pokemon Catcher, and then yeah, you see where you land. So Raging Bolt still good on the number 9 spot for me. Number 8 is going to be Klawf Terapagos. You already see here with Klawf Terapagos, it is playing 2 copies of Budew. That's right, the item locking monster. The cool thing with this deck is that you can poison the opponent's Pokemon while having Radiant Hisuian Sneasel in play while going for an item lock started trap. So if you trap high retreat Pokemon, that's why there's also 3 copies of Boss's Auras in this list. You could be just poisoning them, softening up the damage, and then finish it off with a Klawf. Terapagos also allow you to go wide on your board with the help of the Precious Carrier. As we've seen before, this deck is very strong. Not only going first, but also going second is going to be a very great thing. If you go first, you can donk low HP Pokemon in a format where Ralts are around, Dreepy is around. You can win games without the opponent ever taking a card, and I think this deck is still going to be a great pick moving forward here. Klawf Terapagos now having access to Budew, just to make sure you can slow the opponent down. You can soften up some damage with item lock, and if the opponent is not able to set up and you're going faster than the opponent, this deck almost always wins. Then, number 7, we have Charizard. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Charizard was one of the top 3 decks in the previous format, at least that's what I feel. But now, with the help of Budew and a lot of decks, you will see that Charizard has some adaptation to do. You see here that we are playing the Ace-Spec card, the fantastic Grand Tree, allowing you to evolve instantly from the deck. If you are item locked, you can no longer play Rare Candy, and that's why we are actually going for a high amount of the stage 1s, and there is always with Forest Sealstone a possibility to get that tree out of the deck so you can start evolving instantly. It's going to be a thinner line of the Dusknoir pack, show a 2-1-1 line instead of like sometimes you see a 2-0-2 line or a 2-1-2 line of the Dusknoir, but this time around you're going to have to focus and have some spaces in your deck left for inclusions like, of course, the Grand Tree. No longer Unfair Stamp at your arsenal, and you also cut down on the Rare Candy. So there are some cuts that have happened here just to make sure you can include Pidgeotto as well as Charmeleon into the 60. Another great thing you could include if you want to be building further on the Charizard hype train, if you're playing like maybe 4 copies of Arven, you could be going for a TM Evo strategy. That could also be a way you can get Charizard still working, but right now Charizard stranding it on the number 7 spot. It is still going to be a very strong deck, but be careful if you are item locked. The deck could feel out of control, because even if you insta charge into, oh, I have Rare Candy and Arven, you're gonna say like, oh, I have nothing because Arven gets an item and Rare Candy cannot be played. So Charizard will need to adapt. Maybe adding in TM Evo could also be a solution. Number 6 goes to Regidrago VSTAR. In Japan, Regidrago VSTAR is not performing all too well, or people in Japan are not playing it, but I personally feel there is a lot of Regidrago VSTAR believers over in the Western world. People have been playing this deck non-stop, have been winning thousands of dollars with Regidrago VSTAR. It is the best, undisputed best deck in the Surging Sparks format, and with a little bit of Budew in the format, I don't think it will slow down, because there are ways where you can always go first and have already a turn 1 E-switch. On top of that, there is a Poppy thrown up in the list, which allow you to just move some energies without relying on energy switch. And we also compact with the Latias EX. You might think, why do we need Latias EX? Well, the cool thing is, if Latias EX is in play, you can go for turn 1 Budew yourself, because the list is playing a lot of Nazball, a lot of Ultra Ball. You could be having Latias down, then free retreat into Budew and start using that item lock by yourself. Another great thing that Latias EX provides is having free retreat, because with item lock around, you could be trapped with your high retreat, a 3 retreat cost Regidrago V, and without being able to play something like a Prime Catcher, E-switch and stuff, you're gonna be trapped. And that's why Latias EX can help out with that. So yeah, an adaptation. You also see a new stadium card thrown up in the mix, and that's Gravity Mountain. That's going to be putting down the stage 2s by 30, which is going to be really helpful against the Gardevoir EX matchup. You could just one-shot a Gardevoir EX with the means of using the Lost Impact attack, which is always very funky, but there are way more functions that this could have. You could be using the attack and then out of nowhere slap down the Gravity Mountain in combination with other attacks, so you can then take multiple prizes. It's going to be a great thing for sure, and I think Regidrago VSTAR is still one of the stronger decks out there, even though there is a little bit of item lock around. So now that we've seen 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, it's time for the top 5 to go continue here. We have number 5, Ceruledge. EX. And I'm very happy to say that Ceruledge made the top 10. It has already proven itself over in Japan. And I personally feel that adding in the 1/1 line of Lugia VSTAR is the best way to go for it, because you're going to be able to also attack with Radiant Greninja. Another cool thing is adding in the Monkey Dory, because that's going to allow you to take an additional prize. The cool thing is that if everybody's playing Budew, you're going to be able to use the Monkey Dory in combination with Briar, taking a random KO out of nowhere on the Budew and then activating Briar and then taking more prizes that way. I love doing that synergy. You also see that this list is playing a whole lot of energies. That is 18 in total, and you're going to be able to discard a lot of them through the means of the blender, the ace pack card, the brilliant blender, allowing you to discard lot of item, not only energies, but you can also discard Pokemon if you're having to happen a Night Stretcher in hand. There's the Carmine, there's the Research, there's even a couple of Judge thrown in here, which you can actually find easily through the means of Lumineon V and with Squawkabilly. This is going to be my 60 testing out for the Prismatic Evolutions format, because I'm a really huge fan of Ceruledge. You just dump all your energies into the discard pile and just one-shot all the things you want. With the Pal Pad, you can even get back your Briar if you discarded it early on, or another boss's or is thrown up in the list. So I'm a big fan of Ceruledge. Now with Budew, this deck can actually do something, because before you just attach and pass, and now you can actually go for attach retreat. You do need your energies in the discard pile regardless, and then Budew can slow the opponent down, which is awesome. Now, the top 4 is going to be the winning 60 from the Champions League in Osaka, the Archaludon EX Dialga VSTAR deck. A very consistent, streamlined deck. We've already tested this out on the channel before. You're going to be able to attack twice through the means of Star Chronos if you're able to power that up through the means of the Assemble Alloy ability of Archaludon EX. And Archaludon has a lot of HP going for it. If you get attacked, and if you're not two-shot, you can rely on Relicanth to just go for the attack on the Duraludon, Raging Hammer, and then go for bigger damage output than you've ever seen before. With the help of Professor Turos' scenario and the Scoop of Cyclone, you can actually loop an Archaludon with 300 HP. If the opponent is not able to one-shot, they're gonna be sorry. Either you respond with a Raging Hammer through the means of a Relicanth copy-pasting the Duraludon attack, or you can just loop them, put them back in hand, and start attacking. 220 is a nice number, because a lot of bench hitters out there, think about Phasantipity, for example, Lumineon, Squawkabilly can be easily one-shotted with that. And with the help of Jamming Tower, you can also help out against stuff like Gardevoir, for example. So Archaludon is going to be a mainstay in the format, so I'm very happy to see Dialga VSTAR at the end of its lifespan actually seeing so much success. Then number 3, Lugia VSTAR. This deck will never die. Lugia VSTAR has now a new friend in the form of Regigigas. It's a new card from Prismatic Evolutions, allowing you to slap 330 up against Terra Pokemon. What are Terra Pokemon? Well, in this format, Dragapult EX goes down instantly, Charizard EX goes down instantly, Ceruledge EX goes down instantly. You now have a basic Pokemon that doesn't require that many energies to just one-shot big HP Pokemon. In the past, you needed a whole army of Chinchinos in order to do that. Now you can cut down on your Chinchino line and then add in the Regigigas and you're good to go. With the help of Klefki's annoying deck like Iron Thorns can also not block in your path. But you might think, why is Drapion V in here? Hasn't that rotated? No, all the Fusion Strike, Single Strike, and Rapid Strike Pokemon have rotated, but Drapion V is still here, and that's going to allow you to one-shot a Gardevoir EX. And that's the main reason why Drapion V is actually in the 60. With all these unique attackers, Iron Hand, Wellspring, stuff like Regigigas and even Blood Moon for the late game, this deck pretty much has it all. You can also have a lot of Bossasaurus that you can fetch through the means of Lumineon V, and there's even a Torton if you want to reuse something like a Regigigas, for example, which you can find through the means of a Lumineon. So this deck literally has it all. It has all the options in the world, and that's why it's one of the strongest decks out there. Regigigas is a really huge help for the 60. Moving forward, and also note to self is that playing 4 Great Balls is a little bit less good as with Budew in the format. I think playing Masagosa is finally better than Great Ball, I'm gonna admit it. Moving forward, number 2 is going to be Gardevoir EX. Gardevoir EX has been a mainstay archetype ever since its release in Scarlet and Violet, and nothing else is going to stop this deck from succeeding. Now getting Budew to slowly evening the playing field, right? Gardevoir EX is one of the slower decks in the format, but if you slow the opponent down as well, in combination with an unfair stamp, you're going to be way faster than the opponent at one point, and then you're going to be winning games. That's going to be pretty much it. When Gardevoir EX sets up, it's one of the strongest decks in the entire format, best late game potential potential. You have Counter Catcher, you have Ionos, you can get all your powerful Psychic type attackers thrown up in the mix like Screamtail, Klefki to just block opponents instantly, Flutter Mane as well, which can get multiple KOs if you combine it with the powerful Monkey Dory here. So I believe Gardevoir EX will definitely still succeed. It is a very strong deck, and it isn't actually affected by item lock all too much, as you can go for TM Evo yourself, and as soon as the Curdials are flying out of the deck, you're going to be able to draw a lot of cards. There's one copy of Rare Candy in here, so you can still go for a very turbo approach if you draw into the perfect hand. Moving forward, number 1 goes to, ta-da, Dragapult EX, the big winner from Prismatic Evolutions. Also rocking that 2 copies of Budew because you can pack with Lance. Lance is a supporter allowing you to get 3 dragon types instantly from the deck. It actually is a very strong way you can set yourself up. As mentioned, Lance here, 3 dragon type Pokemon, reveal them and put them in hand is very strong for this deck. Even if you're item locked, you can still get those dragon type Pokemon. 3 Dracloaks by turn 2. Set yourself up, and with the abilities of the Dracloak here, the Reckon Directive, you're going to be able to get a lot of hand advantage. You have Sparkling Crystal, and that means you can just attach 1 energy and go for the Phantom Dive. That in combination with Dusknoir and Spread, while you slow the opponent down as soon as your very first turn going second, you're going to be able to have a deck that pretty much does it all. Item lock until your board is completely set up, and then Dusknoir pop, go for Phantom Dive, blow up let's say you blow up Dusknoir, you get Stretcher, you Candy again, and boom, out of nowhere, the opponent is left with nothing because they cannot evolve your Pokemon because they're item locked. That's why there's 2 copies of Budew in this 60, and it's going to be one of the strongest decks in the Prismatic Evolutions format. So yeah, that's the top 10 decks with Prismatic Evolutions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite deck is from this top 10. Which deck will you pilot? For me, it's an easy answer. I'll be personally testing out Ceruledge. I'm a huge Ceruledge believer, so I'm going to test that out for a bit. So this is going to be the format for EOIC, the European Internationals, one of the biggest tournaments of the year. So pick a deck and start trading right now so you can perform at the highest level. But for now, I'll be focusing a little bit on Birmingham, which is the format before Prismatic Evolution. So this format will become live very shortly. I'm just going to be taking a look at it. I think it's going to be after Birmingham, so that means in the 25th of January, I think the set will be legal, if I'm not mistaken. It could be a week later, but it all comes down to when Prismatic Evolutions actually hits the scene. I could still check that out for you guys if you want to. So Prismatic Evolutions release dates, and that's actually 17th of January. Okay, now to have the correct information, because it's the 17th of January, it will only become legal, I think, the beginning of February, or actually the 31st of January. So starting that weekend, you can start playing with Prismatic Evolutions cards. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know by destroying the hell out of the like button, and I'll see you guys soon with more Pokemon TCG content. Peace.